angakapfeka green uya auya
Godfrey Tsanengo.
Tsenengamu. Apparently, we are so intolerant. Why don't we learn from our leader Nelson Chamisa for bringing Tsenengamu and giving him under approximately 7 minutes? And my answer to anybody who's daydreaming like that, did you listen to what Tsenengamu said? Tsenengamu rightfully addressed the leader as the leader. He called President Nelson Chamisa my leader. So we want ZANU-PF to understand that yes, we are very, very tolerant. Our party is a party, ichechi pasipe muti isingazari. If you are going to come, you need to say come to CCC and address us as Tisu Tinechi Muti. We are the people. Saka, my citizens, if you say we are not tolerant, you are actually daydreaming because we are. Tsenengamu came and addressed the leader as my leader, which means even in a political party yake former, he understands that the people vanhu vari kwa CCC, kwa President Nelson Chamisa. I appreciate you. I'm so passionate about this thing, and I've committed to this thing with my life and for life. Anything that it takes, anything we will do to be able to support the will of the people. Aluta continua, comrades. And one thing that I can say is Basari Chiripo today was absolutely a success as far as I'm concerned, but it doesn't mean kuti zvata succeed and nasi basara pera. Regime will come with thorough and very, very strict and strong other measures to try and suppress and oppress us. But what we are saying is, as you up the game, it's also we are going up and we are going above. Tinemuono we tweezer, like our president always says. I am so proud of Mama Chamisa. Our first family was just so smashing. Guys, I kept on looking. As a woman, I was looking at my Chamisa and I was saying, Mama, we appreciate you. Thank you for looking after Baba. It's absolutely amazing to be a CCC. Saka asante sana, guys. Inine wetina basa. Aluta continua. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my sister Diamond, right there. You rightly said, when someone comes and they are speaking progressive words and they acknowledge that Triple C is the only game in town, we absolutely have no problem with such a person. But if you come and pretend as if ZANU-PF has got some superior crowd that they have, then there will be a problem right there. And also, if you just check from today's rally, I would like to give a warning to all Varakashi who frequent our spaces that we were not just bluffing when we said that if you come to us and start saying that we are a Twitter movement and what, we are going to block you, because what you are trying is to push a narrative which doesn't agree with what happened on the ground. We have got very, very huge crowds on the ground. We are not on Twitter. So we are beating you online and offline, and you should accept that, and don't push a narrative that we're a Twitter movement, because that's not true. And if you come and try to push such a narrative, we'll block you for you, like we were saying. Energetic, go ahead.
Viva CCC, viva!
Viva!
Viva Zimbabwe, viva!
Viva!
Vakomana, I would have loved to see kuti vamunangagwa vanga vari pai vachiitei vakagara pai vachidyei, because if I was President Mnangagwa, not even President Mnangagwa, if I was just Mnangagwa, I would have stayed ku trip yakaenda ozodzoka zvavo mangwana, because I don't think what he saw today was absolutely the takeover of the people, the hunger of the people of for taking over the country, which belongs to us, rightfully belongs to us. Now, I think it's also we just have to move now. Tafuna uchingotofamba nebasi, because vanozviti varakasha vane madetractors esaya akutotambisira time yekuswera tichitombotara nezvavo. Isusu I think we have to totally ignore these people. They need to be ignored. Tirambe tichingofamba nebasa. Yesterday takagadzira 4,000 in a few hours. What more? 460 something days dasara before elections. We will have we will build up the money that is required to actually win the elections. Just wanted to comment again on what we managed to see parali speech yaitwa na Mr. Tsenengam. Now don't underestimate that guy, because that guy angari munhu wezano zvakakwana. Now he's a guy that is trying to transform, and I think he's on his way of fully transforming from the days of ZANU PF to the new way of doing things. He's formed his own party, but nasi auya akatirekedza no support at the people's president, and he did it very well. You see, let us not forget this. Last elections, Nelson Chamisa won the elections. He won the elections really resoundingly. And if you obviously all followed what happened, vakomana vakanga nana achigumba vakaita ndotifunga pakatomborova munhu, they all beaten up so that they must never ever announce the actual results. To the extent of them announcing the wrong figures and twisting them up until Mnangagwa was actually inaugurated. But pakapinda office akanzi aukapinda office, you will never ever rule this country in peace if you are not if you are not chosen by the people. Azviite, and it's on the table. It's failing to transform the equation. This guy had the easiest job, kungosvika achingoita the opposite so that the country goes forward. But look at what's going on. He has failed, totally failed, because he was not chosen by the people. Now CCC atifambe nebasa pamberi nekushanda. I've also committed myself now. So my commitment is, as a radio station, every Friday, every Sunday, I'm not going to be committed to anything else. 100% on what needs to be done kusvikira general election. If it's pushing a publication of anything, or raising funds, or program entertainment and stuff like that, the 2 days of the week belongs to the CCC. Ndapedza zvangu. Pamberi neCCC.
Pamberi.
Maroa zvenyu, Maroa. Thank you. Thank you very much, hosts. Thank you, co-hosts. Thank you, everyone who's on this space. I think if everyone is feeling the excitement that I have, and I felt it my sister Diamond when she was sharing her views there. The joy, sometimes when you're working hard and people are looking down on you, what are you gonna do? This CC thing is not going to go anyway. Sometimes it dampens your spirit. But if you're somebody who believes, somebody who wants change, and somebody who's working, like most of the people that are on this platform, I know you are hard workers. I know you are hustlers, people who would really fight for what they believe. And I'm just praying and hoping that today has gotten those that had not seen light to see the light. That, oh my God, the light is shining there. Because today was just that day where a light all of a sudden was gone, boom. You can't stop an idea. You can't stop a movement. You could put barriers, but a movement is like water. You can put water in a watertight on the ceiling there, but give it time, it will start dripping. It will start dripping, and before you know it, it's all everywhere. This is what CC is doing. This is what CC has done. I'm so grateful that we have moved ourselves from our former We are now a new thing which can be distinguished and differentiated from a distance. And now it's going to be yellow, 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 yellow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy. I am really, truly happy. Those that have been working, you can see that your work, your hard work is paying off. And I'm just praying and hoping that we will continue to come together and work together. I know sometimes we've got our little differences here and there, but let's make sure we put those differences away.
Thank you, co-host right there. Um, let's go to Chimama. Chimama, I can see you have got one of the most popular photos now. The one where Ricky Fire was invited and actually managed to make the president jump. I can see it's your new profile. I'm sure you are excited. Go ahead, my sister.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Ndisati ndamboenda kure, I would like to thank you, the team here, the PA system, the bigger sound system yanga iripo. I mean, it was electrifying. Kungonzwa mimanzi tiri space. I remember I opened a space, we're listening, we're live streaming. It was awesome. Saka hatigone kutanga kutaura tisina kukutendai. I know you guys spent some time, some hours trying to fundraise, putting money together. Tikaona pictures pa Twitter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for even compiling this space, spending your time. It's a lovely day. It was a lovely day. It took a great lot of time preparation for the team iripa ground ku Zimbabwe. I mean, I'm talking of vanhu vanga vachicoordinate vanhu vanga vachitungamirira to make sure kuti sound system and everything zviri installed, because tanga tichiona kuti hapana magetsi. Please close, I'm on a space, sorry about that. Tatichiona kuti hapana magetsi, setting up of the generator, trying to make sure kuti vanhu vakagara zvakanaka. We saw everybody doing their part to coordinate a motka and all that. So taona kuti mazimbabweans kuti this is the time for action. And I think we've sent a great message to ZANU PF specifically, and the Monzora camp as well, kuti chaunga chevanhu avakwanise kuchikunda. We look at all the troubles that we are facing in across the world, kwese kwatiri. But I have hope now. I have hope now for a better Zimbabwe. And we always say to the people, we need to trust our leadership. Leadership yatiratidza nhasi kuti they are in charge, they're in control, they've got this. So every time we will be worried kuti vazoitire yuyu, vazotaura nakupe, I think they've got it. We need to trust them, rally behind them, give them all the support that they need. I mean, we've got Team Pachedu. I would like to acknowledge them as well. Zvavanga vachiita zveku-exposer and whatnot. Vana Hopo, everybody has been playing a critical role. Vanhu vakaraisa mari, £4,000 yesterday. Everybody who attended the spaces, sharing the spaces, just being in there and donating and doing. So everybody has been playing a part. And I just want to say, thank you, my Zimbabweans. You made me proud. I'm a happy Zimbabwean, and I'm hoping, I have so much hope with 2023, we've got this. Let's continue to support one another. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my sister. You remind me of the moment when the president said to Organ Chibaya, hey, Chibaya vana vasikundinzwa chichiri kuitika. And Organ replied, President vanhu vawandisa. And the exchange went on something like that. So indeed, there were crowds today. And I think even in terms of the PA system, the one we hired as backup and our own, I think they were combined today. But I think we actually need to buy something bigger in the future. So that we can actually have the capacity to host the entire rally on our own, because as it stood, both PA systems combined were failing to manage the entire crowd. So we now have such a crowd that it requires a bigger and much more powerful PA system. So that's something that I noted from what my sister is saying. And indeed, thank you to everyone and the people on the ground for organizing a fantastic rally. From there, we'll go to Leroy. I think Leroy, you were here first. Can you go then, Maduve? Leroy is not available. Maduve, can you go ahead? Okay, go ahead, Leroy.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. What you saw today, it was just something else. We are very happy. That message yakasvika muvanhu zvaratidzika nhasi kuti munhu vese, people knows their leaders. They've got this, and then kwatiri kuenda, it shows there's future, there's light. So mutungamiri ndiye chasimuka zvechokwadi chitima cherusununguko. Saka uyu ndiwo chete musangano. Chakakosha ndechekuti tese tizivise hama neshamwari vadiki vese kuti uyu ndiwo musangano wekuteera, ndo kune future. Ndo chete musangano watinofanira kuti tifambe nawo. Ndina zvakawanda zvekutaura, but all I have to say is people shall govern. Zvaratidzika nhasi. Ndinotenda nenguva yamandipa. I thank you.
Thank you, Leroy. We'll go to Maduve.
Thank you so much.
Makatiko hama neshamwari kwamuri ikokoko. Mufaro wangu nhasi. Our New Zimbabwe is here. Vasikana nevakomana ngatisumukei, nyika ndeyedu. Tishandire nyika yedu. Mumwe nomumwe ane pake pekubata. Tikasabatana, tikasabata, nyika inotorwa takatarisa. Tashanda, vashanda kutendai. Vaenda tisitafamba netsoka kubva Harare kubva uko kuzasi zasi kunosvika kuHighfields, because tiri kuona kuti nguva yakwana. The time is now. Kungoda kungokutendai. I feel a rebirth. Ndiri kufara nhasi. Ndinoda kungotenda vese vabata basa guru nhasi. Mwari vanesu tinosvika chete. Ndatenda.
Thank you there, my sister Maduve, for those wonderful words. What you are saying, I was in communication with many people on the ground, and some of them were walking from as far as Epworth to Highfields, and some were walking from Chitungwiza to Highfields. And others were on Twitter saying, ndingatye roadblock ininda kambojamba border. People have went through different experiences in their life. Some have crossed the Limpopo in the past, and for them to be prevented to go to Highfields because of a roadblock, definitely it wouldn't be a fair thing. So indeed, people sacrificed a lot to reach the rally. So we'll go to Ccc NAP. Can you go ahead?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, my brother Shiko, and your co-hosts and everyone who is on this space. Today is a very good day for us Zimbabweans, we the yellow citizens, and it's very clear what direction the citizens want the country to go. I'm congratulating everybody, each and every one of us here, and those in Zimbabwe, those who did everything to make today successful. Some showed up, some contributed money, some drove, some carried fellow members to come to the party, some talked about the party. Whatever we did, this is part of a process. And I hope that the energy that we generated today, we will translate it into a win March 26. That is the next plebiscite. And we should not make a mistake about it. The people, our detractors, will want everything they can do to make us fail. They want to continue the status quo. And one thing I wanted to highlight was just what they did today with the internet and the roadblocks. I know for a lot of us, we make it about this is Triple C, this is them attacking Triple C. No, really. When someone shuts down the internet, they are not attacking Triple C. They are shutting down the internet for all of Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, they don't have a targeted way of saying, oh, we're gonna, shut down this section of the country. It affects everybody. So today there were people who wanted to go to the city, to go to the pharmacy and pick up medications for their loved ones. They were not able to do that. When they did those roadblocks for people coming from Chitungwiza into the city center, and they shut down travel and everything, they didn't do that just for people who were coming to the rally in Highfields. They did that to
It seems as if we've lost Triple C NAP.
Hello.
Right. Yes, we can hear you now. You can continue.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
If you give me the chance to talk,
Okay, go ahead, Donald.
sure. I'm quite happy to be on the platform today. To be honest with you, this is my first time to be on Twitter. My sister invited me to. For those who have created this group, many thanks to you. Also, I'm quite happy that takwanisa kuita zvanga singafungidzire kwedu kwaifiridzwa takakurira uko. Tavanyadzisa. I've got very few words really, to be honest. I think we need to channel out from here where we're going as diasporans and possibly for others who are concerned in the change in Zimbabwe. My proposal really to the platform, to everybody else listening, is basically we need to get those youth to register and vote. I think that's our main challenge. I've been to Zimbabwe myself for a lengthy period of time. For the meantime, obviously, I'm in diaspora. What I've discovered is these youth, they're a bit reluctant. It's possibly you've all seen, you've heard, and for those who've experienced. I've seen a young guy encouraging our parents kuti no vana musape chikafu kana vasina kuvhota vasina kurejisa kuvhota. But I think we need to do more, particularly on that one. I do apologize, possibly it's an analysis of the rally that happened in Highfield. But I feel maybe it's time possibly to move forward and possibly able to achieve our goal. Goal yedu ndeyekuti tipinde panyanga. Not necessarily tipinde panyanga, but we need to change the lives for everybody. My proposal really, to be honest with you, is dai zvichibvira kana tikakwanisa kuti tikwanise kuti ti-encourage mafana vavhote. Maybe ipfungwa dzangu, please musandisore, tangotsvaka a strategy yekuti munhu wese akwanisa kuregister kuvhota aupiwa $5. I think ipapo tinenge tinogona kukavha pakati kure, we can contribute. I've heard it was you managed to contribute about 4,000. But I think tikaenda section by section kuti kuri kuvhotwa kwakati, kuri kuregistrwa kuvhota maybe kuzengeza, toti makanselors akuri kuzengeza ndaanani, voallocatwa maybe a lump sum kana tongova uitewo kuti vaone mari dzekuti vati akwanisa kuregister kuvhota youth below the age of 30 apiwa $5 ako akwanisa kuregister chete. I think maybe we can move positively with our CCC and possibly remove Mnangagwa with an overwhelming win. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donald. So Donald was invited on this Twitter space and probably on Twitter by his sister. I checked his account and he is following two people. I guess one is the sister. Then he has got 0 followers. No one is following Donald, but he came and gave us a strategy that he thinks works. Let's show Donald that we're a loving family. Let's follow him. We have followed Donald as Ccc Diaspora. Can you also follow Donald to encourage him so that he can keep coming to the Twitter spaces, keep sharing, keep contributing? And also thanks to your sister as well, who invited you. Thank you so much for your points, Donald. And here, at Ishorevan, every point is important for us, as long it is not a point that is sending us back to Stone Age like ZANU-PF points. So thank you for coming, Donald.
Thank you, host. Can I come in there for a second?
Yes, please do.
I just thought I would also share a view and thank all the people that have donated the PA system. I also want to announce that the printer has actually been purchased, and and that we the reason why the printer had not been purchased was because we're trying to get the money to be sufficient enough to purchase the printer. One of the problems that we faced was we, as the diaspora team, we had too many requests of things that wanted to be done at the same time. So we started fundraising for something else before something else was completed. So we've now purchased the printer, and I'm grateful to say that all the things that we said we were going to purchase, the PA system, you saw it in action. Thank you so much. The printer, we saw it in action. Thank you so much. Um, One of the other things that I also want to share with you is a plan going forward. I've got two plans. The first plan is in diaspora where we are putting up places or points where we are going to need your support. We are going to need your support to help us with your smartphones, laptops, or tablets that you do not use anymore. If you are happy to donate something that is new, we will be very happy. There is a demand for these gadgets at home for us to be able to deliver the Zimbabwe that we want. We want to be able to coordinate with everyone, regardless of where they are in the country. So we are going to launch that program. We are in the meantime identifying areas where people can then be able to go and drop. And somebody was asking me, how are you going to know that this so and so has dropped their uh, phone or laptop or tablet? We are going to build some checkpoints where, if say from here we have said you can go to Southend and drop your iPhone, or to London and drop your Samsung, you can then write to us and let us know, perhaps with a picture, to say, oh, I've dropped my donation. There is my donation. The reason why we are doing this, we want to be as transparent as we possibly can. We do not want to leave any loopholes for anything. There have been mistakes made in the past, and we've learned from those mistakes. Right now, those who work in the diaspora, we are in the diaspora, we know how hard it is when someone is working in the diaspora. It's not easy, that shift money that we get, and we try and donate, and we don't get to hear where our money would have been sent to. So that's the first thing. I am pleading, if at all anyone on this platform feels that they need to donate a phone that they've got that they needed to send home, or they needed to exchange, or please, we need that technology. We need that smartphone. It's needed in Zimbabwe. Right now, in as much as we are preparing for the by-elections, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you the major preparations are on the 2023 elections. Those ones, come what may, we have to get in, and together we will be able to get in. The second thing that I also wanted to talk about is the platforms that we are creating, either WhatsApp group or Telegram groups, we are creating groupings where we are going to be asking people who are happy to make a donation of either $10 on a monthly basis for the next 18 months until after the elections. Those who are able to do the same, setting standing orders, direct debit for $100 for the next 18 months. Or those who are prepared to say, look, I've got $20 here, I've got so much. Please, please, I am pleading with you. The party has managed to do what it has done because you are there. Our party does not even have a bank account right now as we speak. So if we don't have anything that we can put plans to start planning today, our party is going to face problems. But if we start planning today to say, right, we've got so many people who are happy to say every month I set a direct debit for my $10. We want to hear from you. Those who are saying every month I want to make a commitment to set $50, we are happy for you for that. If you are happy to set up a direct debit for $100, please, we want to hear from you. If you are happy to set more, or if you've got something that you feel you want to donate, if you've got a car that you think it can be used during these campaigns or during the election itself, or if you've got something that you feel, oh, I've got a house which I'm not using, you could use it, until the elections. When we are talking about this now, we are talking about anything and everything. People are donating whatever they can. So I'm asking you today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, to say this is only the beginning. Those who are willing, if you hear your mind telling you that, you know what, all along what's been happening all along, I thought this was a joke, or I didn't think these guys would go anyway. I'm sure today would be a day that you can say to yourself, you know what, I think my fate has now been written. I am prepared now to go all the way to make sure I support the movement. We want to hear from you. If you've got a skill that you've got, that you think you can share, please, we want to hear from you. Then lastly, every person who's on this call tonight, on this space, I ask you to retweet, and I ask you to look at whoever you are not following and start following now. Your net worth is your network. So thank you, hosts, and I'm looking forward to sharing our amazing day today. But I thought I would just share with you these important details with you, so that as we go, we are then digressing to say, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? Wherever you are in the world, we are planning to set up somewhere where you can do a drop off of these important devices that we have. And I can tell you now, if we do that, our party will move without any problems, and we will be able to help whoever needs help. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, co-host there. A very, very important delivery there. The issue of $10. Others would ask, why is Mr. Washington talking about all this? He is the head of fundraising. And when you have got someone who is involved in fundraising, to them, they know the importance of funds in the movement. And the leaders clubs, or the clubs where you go and pay $10 every month, these are the clubs that when there's no money, let's say from these GoFundMe or PayPal fundraisers, there is a repository where we can go and get some money and get the program going. The importance of the diaspora can't be overemphasized. The PA system was bought by the diaspora. The backup PA system was paid for by the diaspora as well, North America province, as we rightly tweeted yesterday. So what it means is your support made today's rally. a success as well. We know that most of you actually went an extra mile, helped your relatives and your families with monies to go to attend the rally. You spend money to tell people to go to the rally and all that. So you are doing a lot. Thank you so much. So from co-host, we are going to go to let me see who was
Host,
here
our,
first.
our, our other co-host hasn't spoken. Host,
Yes. She's still here with us, so we are trying to give the others who were dropping off so
No,
that
she's not very much with us.
okay. So go ahead,
Oh,
co-host. Go ahead, co-host.
no, it's fine. I'll say what I need to say in less than 2 minutes because I think I've said quite a lot this weekend. It has been such a pleasure, and it remains a pleasure to work for what I believe in personally. In regards to the Yellow Rally, um, you know, you make content, you post content, you keep people excited about conversations, right? I think for a person who has, and I'm sure the host would know that my minimum working hours can be 14, 15 a day. Um, but in between my work hours, I'm still trying to make sure that the movement on my part is alive, you know. So when I saw the numbers today, and I know a lot of people were asking and keep asking if I was around or whatever, for security reasons, I'll never say yes or no, but the numbers were really, really good. And it keeps us going. That's the reality of things. It really keeps us going. It makes us know, Kuti, we are not just fighting for a worthless cause. So one thing that maybe I want to reiterate is, guys, we are as strong on the ground as we are on social media. And I am personally 5, 10 times stronger than any regime enabler you'll find under the sun who's my age. And I always say that because hakuna vanhu ikoko kwangosara haridzo rofa. And even the young people that are supposed to, and I always say the movements or change is not just about CCC. Even Muzanu Macho, Mu, whatever other parties, they are not moving towards change. You know, it's one thing to say, I need to have an open debate on maybe, let's just say, I like to talk about finance, obviously, and say, how do we get to have a $100 billion economy where people can criticize what you're saying and somebody, you can't have that in the political arena. Munhu wese ari kungoita slogan pamberi nezano chakati or chinja maitiro, you know. So I really, really hope that as we move towards 26 March and towards 2023, in closing, that we keep finding our space in the movement. Ukaona kuti the leaders are not doing A, you know, if all the leaders could come and testify, they'll tell you kuti just will push you kuti SG ndikuona kuti hakuna chakati kana kuti izvi zvazvina kutsanangurika kana kuti fadzi this that you position, you don't necessarily position yourself, but you try and fill in that gap. And one thing that I really like that we have started as a movement, but necessarily me doing it, is going on places like Instagram, going on places like Facebook. Kudara zvanga zvisiko zvekuti kwaichongonzi vanhu vekuinstagram havana focus. But last week we had Hopewell. I know hanguti akazoplasta vanhu achiti he makazowandira kwatatelicious, but those are some of the spaces that we now need to get into, right? Social media, kwese vanoita zve-Snapchat, and I always say I'm one person, right? I cannot be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but I am, right? Ndiri kuita kwese, and I'm making sure you are all kept alive and motivated, right? But try to find your own space. Don't just say, Washington, in regards to finance. We need everyone to chip in. If you feel that you've got better content for TikTok, get into TikTok and make the movement alive in TikTok. I find that I'm good as a backbone and leader. And I'm sure a lot of people know that. I like to be the backbone and supporting, make sure it's shirukufamba uku, shirukufamba uku, shirukufamba. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Kuti, let's keep the movement alive. Let's position ourselves in places, in places where we can be useful. So yeah, thank you so much, host.
Thank you. Before you go, can you also tell us about what you are doing about the internet? I don't know, throttling or something like that.
Okay.
Your efforts on the internet.
Okay, so I noticed that the internet was getting a little bit slow, and I reached out to guys from NetBlocks, right? So yesterday, Ella just tagged them, say NetBlocks. I know NetBlocks, but I wasn't really following them, and then I then realized that no, tomorrow we might actually need NetBlocks because it's the watchdog. It's an international watchdog that monitors gagging of internet, especially government to civilians. So I reached out to their experts, like to their technical guys, and I made sure that I kept bombarding you guys with that link for you to be able to give them feedback. I was doing it on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram. I tried to make sure that they get accurate information, because the thing is, if only 3 people send feedback, it means that they cannot have sufficient. But then they actually ended up saying, "Oh, you gave us like there are lots of people that have given us sufficient data, and we can actually like map where they are, etc." So I didn't necessarily tell them kuti kune yellow Sunday or anything, so they need to pick that up with their systems. And I'm sure if you know a lot about internet tracking and all of that, you then know like the softwares that they then use. So they got the information, and then they found that it's actually being dragged, and that's how they then sent so they actually showed me the report, then they then published it on their page. I was like, oh wow, well done, thank you so much. So now, even if Triple C wanted to go and sue the government, uh, NetBlocks is actually like a credible body, right? Monitor my internet activities across the world, right? So they can actually, and inenge report yacho kuti is murikuita so network provider irikuita so network provider irikuita so, and it's factual. I like data, so you'd understand my point of view. Saka ndiye ndisingadoti tingonyebera. You know what Farakash, they'll start saying, hey, mainyeba manga musina vanhu, hey, network isusu hainambotinetsa. So I needed to make sure that at least we have a watchdog that I'm keeping tabs with, kuti vaite make sure kuti we are staying, they have something that's factual. So at least we've got that report and it's factual. So yeah, it was just me trying to make sure that we have justice in terms of internet provision, and just trying to make sure kuti munhu wese anonyatsokuona kuti the government is actually doing it deliberately. So yeah.
Thank you so much. That's Jessica there, or Dark Force girl, the girl who started the Zek Must Explain hashtag. And also, I would really like to recognize the presence of my sister and party spokesperson, Fadzai Mahere, here with us. Fantastic job today, spokesperson. If you'd like to speak, you can just raise your hand, but we understand you are tired in case you wouldn't want to say something. But thank you for the fantastic job that you did today with the Yellow Sunday rally. So from there, we'll go to Tonodzai, fantastic, then Rich. Then after Rich, we'll go to JT.
Host, sorry, before Mr.
Hello.
Tonozai speaks. Sorry, Mr. Tonozai. I just wanted
Okay.
to say we would really like to hear my sister Father's voice, even if it means for 1 minute. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Maneru dare dzvene revana vanoita zvinodakadza kunge ndiri kudya nhupi kuZimbabwe. Samazuva ese sekuru venyu vanokusimudzirai mweya kuti tirambe tiri kuita basa tichifara. Riri kurwadza asi tiri kufara kuitira nyika yedu zvakanaka. Saka nhasi manheru anaya kana ndichiti musikana ndiri kureva vaya vatakasiya vatakarambana navo vaya. Kana ndichiti mukomana tiri kureva triple C. Mandinzwisisa here?
Hongu.
Right. Ndinoda kutanga kufara. Ndicharatidza kufara nezvaitwa kuZimbabwe nhasi ndichiti kuzvara mwana musikana suru ndasuruvara. Kuzvara mwana musikana suru ndasuruvara. Kuzvara mwana mukomana ganda gagaira ganda gagaira ganda gagaira. Ndanzwa kufara nezviri kuitwa nevakomana nevasikana vari diaspora kurangarira nyika yedu yechizvarirwa isina kugara zvakanaka. Tiri kucherechedza machallenges anga ariko tichiti zvinobuda zvakanaka here. Ndanzwa kufara kuti muri kugona. Ai Mwari aramba achitipa simba. Tapfuurira mberi. Takatanga kuona zvineswa kuti bhuku rine mazita pachipatara. Vana vanozvarwa vanhu vachitarisa mazita. Mazita ese akabva atorwa kupihwa vamwe vana zvakanzi uyu mwana hafaniri kuita zita. Asi ndinotenda vakomana nevasikana macitizens akangwara akaropafadzwa vakanga vakaverenga. Pane zita rakanyenyeredzwa rakasiyiwa triple C. Mazita akapiwa illegitimate children pahospital vakashaya basa. Asi nhasi ndanzwa kufara kuti kechipiri vakaedza kudzvanya kubloka kuti tisakwanise kusangana nemukomana parhari timuratidze kuti tiri kumuda. Zvinangwa zvake tiri kuzvinzwa, tiri kuzvitsigira nokuti zvakanga zvine chokuita neupenyu hwedu. Kunyange tairambidzwa sezviri mumutemo, taiziva kuti ikodzero yedu. Kunyange taisirwa zvisiri mumutemo, taiziva zviri mumutemo. Kuti mitemo yeZimbabwe inokoshera munhu wese, inoshandira munhu wese. Kana munhu achitaura isiri mbeveve ngaimbe. Kana munhu achikwanisa kupfeka chipfeko chinoremedzeka ngaapfeke. Nhasi guta reHarare yanga iri yero. Basa rakaitwa nevakomana nevasikana kupfekedza nyika, kuratidza simba remwana wedu kuti akazvarwa ane hutano. Chiri chivhindikiti. Munozviziva imi kuti mwana akasa mukadzi akashaya kunyatsochengetedzwa kana kuitirwa zvakanaka munguva yekugadzirira kupona, anogona kusadetserwa zvakanaka mwana kana kutofa panguva yematernity. Unoona ana baba vachimhanya pamwe vachitoenda kuchuru kunotsvaga muchenje. Ndozvaitwa nevakomana nevasikana, tumichenje, tubaranjisi, twese twaitenga tuchiendeswa kumwana azvarwa. Zvino nhasi ndaona kuti basa ranga riri kuitwa. Every penny was accounted for. Takanowitinisa pachitungiza apa. Mahumbwe, mari yaifanirwa kushanda kubasa vanasimboti, hapana chawakaburisa. Takaona zvidaudau kuti kana pane vamwe vari kuita zvizekezheke vachiwana vachitadza kupa kuti mwana ave neutano hwakanaka, ameno, asi taona kuti mari, mafunds ari kushandiswa nemazvo. Let's keep it going. Mari
tinotenda.
Ndakuda kupedza. Taona zvinoshamisa. Chembere dzazvipira kubva kunochoni kufamba makumba achizvimba aya, hazvisi zvokuseka nazvo izvozvo. Vanga vachitoziva kuti kune vanhu 13 vakakurwa varimo mumasel, vaisa upenyu hwavo paurumana, asi vapfuura vaenda. Taona vachisvetuka makumba akazvara achidzimba aya, kufarira kuti tiri kuitirwa zvakanaka. That is very important. Hakuna vanakomana vari kubvunza kuti chikonzero chandingaende kunovhotera chii. Uchiona chembere chiti handingafe ndisiya vazukuru vangu vasina ramangwana rakanaka. Haisi nyore kuti munhu amukire 3 o'clock kubva notoni kuti asvike muHarare tiri kuvaziva vafamba. So I want to say zvinhu zvatiri kunzwa, zvatiri kufira, zvatiri kutoona kuti no, dhani vana muri kuita mushe, chiregedzai kushorana nokuti vanhu vakaita zera rimwe chete. Apa vambe ndinonzwa muchitaura, every day I listen to you. Every day, kana panoyana padare muchiuya, kana panouya vamwe vachiuya, ndichiona kuti uyu anenge ari kuzvidza vamwe, ari kusaka kuteerera kungoisa tumwe tuvanhu. Tinotoona because we want kusiya vana vari pane zvakanaka. Hatisi kudhoka, we are not interested in kupaya tunhu twatisingagonoti, but tine shungu kuti Zimbabwe iitewo sedzimwe nyika, tiswe tisiya vanhu. I have 3 children. Mumwe is a pilot, but haasi kuita basa racho. Mumwe is a lawyer, but haasi kuita basa racho. Saka muri kufungidzira kuti tinofara here kugara tife tisi vana vasina nhaka? We must be happy kana muri kuita zvakanaka. Keep up that spirit. Hakuna kuvengana. Vakakanganisa. Ngavagone kuziva kuti hatikwikwidzane nevamwe vatsva, ngavapihwewo chance. Ndakazvinzwa izvozvo. Saka ndaakufara hangu kuvhara kuti well done. Rambai muri kushanda zvakanaka. Yero mazvita.
Tinotenda sekuru tonodzai as always. Tinofarira mashoko makuru amunoita savasekuru vedu vanouya vachibatana nesu mumadande mutande matiri muno. Tinozvitenda. Panguva ino tichapa nguva kuna my sister Fadzai. Spokes, go ahead.
It's a very good evening to everyone. I've been given 1 minute, so I'm going to be brief. I talk a lot, and I spend the day talking. I just really wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody, especially those of you who are in the diaspora and have contributed in one way or the other to ensure the success of our Yellow Sunday rally. It's not lost on us just how much you sacrifice to contribute and play your part to ensure that we all collectively win the fight to win Zimbabwe for change. I have to say now, speaking as a citizen and not as your spokesperson, that the pictures don't do justice to the electricity of the mood that was at Zimbabwe ground today. The videos don't do justice to exactly what was in the atmosphere at Zimbabwe ground today. There is definitely something happening. We are on the threshold of something big and something beautiful as a nation. I'm pretty confident after what I saw today that the election in 2023 is going to be historic. And I say this after 2 years of having toiled as a collective. I think we all saw that the main opposition was under huge threat, and it's truly a miracle that we're still standing. And the reason we're still standing is because we actually have convictions that go deep about very important things around our nation and the best way to take the country forward and transform it. So please, don't lose hope. Let's continue to do, all the wonderful things we're doing. Everybody should participate. My own personal mantra in politics is that if you want something to change in the political space, step up and be the change you wish to see. We all have a responsibility. It's not about looking at President Chamisa and saying, look, he must do this, he must do that. No, we all must make sure that we contribute. This movement is our collective movement. And I think it was emphasized today to those who were listening and who managed to access the rally. I understand that there were connectivity issues, but the important thing that was said is that we are in the business of doing something very different with the political space. It's not going to be business as usual. It's not going to be a political party as usual. This is a grand movement where we want to try some very disruptive things around the political space. We want everybody to be involved. We want huge participation. We want bottom-up decision making. We want the citizens to come first. We really want the people to be able to reclaim the political space for themselves so that ultimately, we can have ethical leadership in Zimbabwe and, build the Zimbabwe that we can all be proud of and that has freedom, that has fairness, and that has opportunity. So I think my 1 minute is up, but I really just want to say, vose vakacontributa, vose vakapa mari, vose vakashare, vose vakaita maspaces vachiencourage vanhu, vose vakadonata in kind, vose vakadesigna maposter, vose vakadesigna ma-t-shirt, vose vakasponsor ma-t-shirt, vose vakabatsira nefuel, whichever role you played. Thank you so much. I know various, assemblies in the diaspora have participated. Was it a sound system? There was something really interesting that happened today that the sound system just, could not carry because there was such a huge crowd. Isn't that a wonderful problem to have, having so many people that your sound system, really needs to be adjusted so that because we did not anticipate just the thousands of people, the multitude of people that we saw. So thank you so much. Let's continue. This really bodes well for the future. We know that we are on the correct path, as President Chamisa said earlier on. So let's continue there. Let's continue to grow from strength to strength. The sky isn't the limit. So we also Ricky Fire jumping up and down. So that's exactly what we need to be as a movement. Let's continue to work in young people, but even old people, middle-aged people, professionals, students, women. Nobody should be left behind in the fight to win Zimbabwe for change. Thank you so much and have a very pleasant evening.
Thank you. Spokes, before you leave, in case you didn't know, most of the people in the diaspora failed to get a live link to hear the entire speech by the president. Definitely, we wouldn't ask you to give us the entire speech, but can you just give us some takeaway points from the speech so that at least the people here can benefit from that speech?
Thank you very much. And obviously, we're going to work with our partners to ensure that that message is disseminated. I think most of us recorded it, so we will make sure that you get to it. But just to summarize what the president said, the first important thing, I think his speech was centered on 4 pillars. The first was that the Citizens Coalition for Change is a brand new political party. So we must all disabuse ourselves of the notion that, we've just painted the NDC Alliance yellow. No, it's a brand new movement. And this means that it's going to have a brand new constitution. It's going to have brand new leaders. It's going new. And all of us who are currently working for the movement are doing so in a caretaker role. The citizens are going to be given an opportunity to choose the leaders they want to lead this brand new baby. That's the first important thing that he said. The second thing that he emphasized is that people need to ensure that they register to vote. There's no point having a massive crowd with thousands and thousands of people if those people don't appear on the voting roll and don't actually go out and cast their votes and go and proceed to defend those votes. So he was emphasizing that everybody should ensure that everybody, they individually are registered to vote and everybody around them is registered to vote. If you've got people who, young siblings at home, children at home, parents, make sure everyone is registered. Varikuma Misha, make sure you spread the message far and wide that everybody must be registered to vote. Linked to this is obviously the difficulty, and I'm putting it very politely there, the gross irregularities rather that we've seen with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. The president emphasized that it's the Citizen Coalition for Change that actually commissioned various experts to comb through the voters' roll and look at the irregularities. Currently, the party is participating in a process whereby we're verifying some of the findings that were made by the experts that were commissioned with a view to take legal action against the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, and also that will be combined with political action. He said we should yellowrise the streets. Those were his words. The next thing that the president emphasized is that, we have a problem with the livelihood, situation of the citizens, teachers in particular. Teachers were the main emphasis. The fact that they do not earn a living wage and they're being persecuted day and night for demanding a living wage. He emphasized that education is the bedrock of the society and there's a need to restore the dignity of the teaching profession. He said all teachers are demanding is a restoration of their salaries to that $540 scale that they enjoyed during the government of national unity. And we actually spoke to some of the achievements that were made during the government of national unity, where he was in government, and obviously people like Honorable Tendai who were in government as well when he was Minister of Finance, how life for the common person improved dramatically. He spoke of the welfare of soldiers, of CIO officers, of nurses, of doctors, all civil servants, all workers. He said, look, we really need to come together and put the citizens first in as far as fighting for an improvement of the plight of all these workers. He also spoke, about the need for us all to come together and just be patient while we process some of the details around how the movement is going to function going forward. So he said he purposefully had not gone into things like the ideology, the values of the party, the character, because all of that is going to be rolled out in due course together with the constitution of the movement and the new movement. So he said, don't be confused. Everyone who, like myself, is currently performing any role on behalf of the party is doing so in a caretaker capacity, but all of that is going to be properly dealt with in line with our constitution to be presented to the people, and people are going to have an opportunity to have their say, be consulted widely on all these issues, so that the movement that we ultimately build is one that represents our true aspirations. I think in a nutshell, that's what he did. He emphasized that we must all throw our full weight behind the by-election candidates in, March. We know the election is coming up on the 26th of March. He said that we're starting off from zero. So right now, the Citizen Coalition for Change has 0 candidates. Whatever, candidate or whatever victory we have in whichever constituency or whichever ward is going to be 1 or 2 or whichever number towards, our growing our participation in government. So it's not as though we're trying to reclaim something that was stolen. Rather, we are starting completely afresh. So if we have one victory, that victory is going to be our starting point. But obviously, we must strive to do very well and try and win as many, if not all, of the seats that are up for election. I think, in summary, that's what the president said. He also said that, yellow was chosen it was a considered decision. It represents freshness, it represents electricity, it represents new start. play our part to paint everything yellow. That was quite an intentional decision that was made in that regard. So that was the essence of the president's message today. And yeah, we will ensure that that message is disseminated widely to ensure that those who weren't there today, whether they're people who had to stay at home or people who are in the diaspora, have access to exactly what the president said. Oh, sorry, one last thing, an important thing that I left out is he made reference to Mr. Mnangagwa's speech last week where he said that the Citizens Coalition for Change, CCC, would never test power, that President Chamisa would never lead. He said, look, we are definitely going to take power in 2023. And he also said that, look at what happened in Zambia, which was witnessed directly by Mr. Mnangagwa. That's exactly what's going to happen in Zimbabwe in 2023. So he was really just reassuring everyone that we are staring victory in the face, and this election is out.
Thank you so much. That's very, very comprehensive. I think from just listening to you, I think I've heard all the entire speech, and of course, we'll wait for the full speech, which you are going to share since you said it was being recorded. Thank you so much. So we'll go to Fantastic, Rich, then JT. Then we'll take other speakers after that.
All right, thank you, host, and thank you, everybody. Hello, everyone. I'm here to celebrate because I'm in a celebration mood. Nasinda Farah, I'm very, very happy. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very proud of the Zimbabwean guys. Vabuda in numbers, despite all the challenges that they had. I am very, very happy. Yellow CCC is the new future. Mamboona here, the deco that was there. Papa Sinajimi, cheka. Did you see the screen that was just behind? I mean, it was just perfect. It was on point. You know that it's out China generation. In a technology. Did you see the smiles that the people had? No one was frog-marched. Vana promised food or kupiwa transport, but everyone was there and was happy. I'm really, really happy. And also, I loved the band, the trumpeters, Vaita, the anthem. Fine, we don't have the police band, but look at what we had. It was just amazing. Amazing. And I also loved the prayer. Oh, I'm so excited. And I would also want to encourage like those who've never donated something. You know, when we were watching from home, that feeling kanawaka donator, you feel kuti chinhu ichi ndechedu. It is our thing. I've played a part regardless of me being in the diaspora miles and miles away. That feeling yokuti katendora kangu karipo pa stage, pa PA system, it's just amazing. And it really encouraged my family to keep on donating, to work hard towards victory, work hard towards victory at CCC. I am so excited, guys. I am very proud of you, proud of my fellow Zimbabweans back home. I just don't know what to say. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's keep on fighting. Tinoshika Jet.
Yes, that's jubilation right there from my sister. Fantastic. From here, let's go to Rich. Rich, can you unmute and speak?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, host. I also want to, express my gratitude. Very happy, Spokes, you are here, and very happy fellow Zimbabweans, because a lot has gone into what we have seen today. And what I can see is that, what we saw today is the power of unity of citizens. Madam Spokesperson, fellow Zimbabweans, look at this whole issue in the context of what really does the events of today mean to the party, to every Zimbabwean, and to the movement in terms of what we saw, the power of unity. Let's look at what happened, what brought us to where we are today. we first talked about the theme, citizens convergence for change. What we have seen today is the great impact of putting citizens at the center of political processes in the country, putting citizens at the center of decision making. From the party's point of view, things become very easy when citizens are participating. The convergence starts with the diaspora. That's where the decision, the convergence, became very strong, because they said that let's take over the party in terms of making sure that we oil it, by resourcing it. That is what made things then to start happening. But did we know that clarion call from the diaspora, the galvanizing effect on the diaspora, was going to resonate with those on the ground? We didn't know that. The resonation of diaspora and those on the ground, we saw it today. We were not sure that the zeal, the drive that we saw on Twitter, is it resonating with what is happening on the ground? We had those questions, but we managed to see it today with our eyes, to say what we see on Twitter, people shouting at each other, people very keen to say we want a better Zimbabwe. Even those on the ground are now saying that. How is that possible? It is the power of unity. Everyone, if we look at what happened today, it is a strong and equivocal, bold message to two groups of people, to Emerson Mnangagwa, that we are sick and tired, of Fumvudza politics of Digaufe, the politics of Fumvudza and Digaufe that he is preaching in the rural areas. It is satanic, because, they dish out and allocate tractors from Belarus in Harare, and then go to our gogos and our uncles in the rural areas and tell them Fumvudza. It's sickening. These people are heartless. So we have made a very bold statement to Emerson Mnangagwa. We have also made a bold statement to Monzora, who represents a group of sellouts. The party was under siege, and it is clear that people have sent a message of rejection to Monzora and group. That is key. So it is very important that we take it upon ourselves from here and focus, fellow Zimbabweans, on mobilizing people to register to vote. This is.
Thank you so much, Rich, Reverend. There's also Reverend Richie. But thank you so much, Rich. Before we go to JT, let's go to co-host Jessica. Are you also tired of Fumvudza politics? Go ahead, my sister.
Me, I like mathematical politics. That has never been in question. I don't like Fumvudza politics, but I just wanted to concur with the gentleman who was speaking, Rich, to say that at this particular point, I'm just glad that all of us can see how the correlation, this is not mathematics class, but the correlation, there's a perfect positive correlation between what is happening on social media and what is happening on the ground. So you'll hear a lot of Murivma hashtag, Murivanema hashtag, you'll hear a lot of Twitter, isi Zimbabwe, you'll hear a lot of Muriku Diaspora, but then people forget that diaspora last year remitted 1.4 billion, right? So diaspora is holding the economy essentially. Economy of Zimbabwe, it could just sustain on a diaspora. So I just wanted to encourage people, kuti mukanzwa zvima statement zvakadaro. And I think I actually put out a tweet saying that even paya munoudzwa kunzi ZANU-PF ine strongholds kuma rural areas, if you want to give a perfect response, yes, You are correct. ZANU-PF is in a stronghold school, my rural areas. But here is what the data says. It says Emerson, by the court, even though it is now official number, and 50.000 something percent. Nelson Chamisa Makampa 45%. Yet mune 2/3 majority in parliament. Does that not mean kuti 2/3 in parliament? Shirikurewa kuti there is a certain percentage, at least about 37 to 41% of people that wanted Nelson Chamisa as the president, and not necessarily ED. So how does that make ED the most popular and on Zindianima grassroots are strong? In case they should just tell us Kutima MP ZANU-PF ndo 2/3 majority, but Musai Woods were propaganda yekunzanzi kuma rural areas. Also, just one last thing, rural areas, according to the demographics in Zim and Zim stats, they're about 67. It's 67.35% vanonzi vari kuma rural areas supposedly, and then 32 point whatever, and then vane mastructure vakazviita. If really ED had a strong rural support, ED would have more than 65%, and that I have mathematically calculated it. So let's not be fooled. Fooled once, I agree. Fooled twice, you are the fool. So when you are told, Kunzi, kuma rural areas, ndokune stronghold, yes, ZANU-PF, give numbers. Musanye berwe, musaswera mchitosewa, because they want you to believe kuti pavanozoti 300,000 people kuzumba maramba fungwe. Now tane voters roll, takuziya zvirikuitika, takuziya even my census, my numbers, nechi, like we now have that data. And I'm so glad that we also have Tim Pachedu. And we also have people who have interest in mathematics like me. Fool me once, I agree. Fool me twice, we are both fools. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, co-host right there. We can't be fooled twice. After the Yellow Sunday rally, honestly, if you still believe that we are a Twitter movement, then there is something wrong with you as well, not just the person accusing you. It's clear that the numbers on the ground are bigger than the numbers on Twitter. Right now, our Twitter rally has got 728 people. We saw how many people were on the ground. When the event was happening online, there were about 13.5 people watching at one point in time. That number was still lower than the people who were on the ground. So definitely the people on the ground are more than the people on social media. So there's no question about it. Let's go to JT, then Taona.
Thanks, my brother, and thanks, my sister Jessica, and my brother Washington, and also acknowledging the spokesperson. What I wanted to say, Mkoma Richiwa Taura nyaya yekuti, I mean, they dished out tractors. Sorry, Mkoma, I just want to correct you. Instead of buying tractors, they ended up buying snow graders and giving them to the snow, and spend millions on buying snow graders. And the snow graders are just sitting there. I think that shows us how retired they are, old and retired, and not accepting the new. So hapana kana matractors akapiwa mari yainga iripo, I think millions of dollars. They ended up buying snow from UK. They ordered my snow graders into Zimbabwe. So but anyway, getting back to the basics, I think today we've seen how the citizens are in charge, and they are like the I think host mentioned it, but the president were you not prepared? A lovely organizing secretary Chibaya, you not prepared. So it shows the citizens are in charge and are taking lead. And leadership, please be prepared. Next time takuita star rally, we need the double the venue because the the citizens are showing that we are ready, we are coming, and I mean we are not playing. So it's very, very important that leadership takes it serious. And I just wanted to contribute as well, speaking to people today about the the regime was stopping from buses and their cars and all that. Well, can you not let's just think kuti vanhu vese ivavo vakwanisa kuita access, we're going to taiputisa high fields, yes, it was going to burst the whole of Highfields. And I don't know what the PADI is also 3 kilometers away when people are waiting to hear our president speak. And I mean, we are ready. We are ready. And I want to congratulate the citizens for this achievement. And the second thing, I think information iri kubuda pano vakomana vekumabarracks, we have them. We just wanted to share kuti we acknowledge them. Vaonekwa vati from morning they were listening to president wedu, saka vatopa title kunzi hanzi imi maswera muchiteerera uku kumusangano wekurudhaka wainga uriko. But we need to pray for these guys. We know kuti vari kumbunyikidzwa, they want to come out, but we acknowledge them. Vakomana vanenge vachiteerera muchihwande, but nyaya iyoyo, let's pray for them. Some of them are not coming out, but nyaya iyoyo yatobuda. Ndizvo what I want to say to everyone, chinonzi rega ndechiri mumaoko kwete chiri pamoyo. So no matter how they want to mbunikidza vanhu, hapana. And we also noted kuti the moment speech ya papa president wedu Tseneng kuti ataure kwaakabva uku kuti hakuna inhapwa, hakuna chiriko, then network yabva yavhara. So we are following all these trends. We know from that point going forward kuti zvinhu zvabva zvadi, because ainga akutaura kuti hakuna chiriko. So closing up my last contribution, zvataura spokesperson kuti zvokuti hanzi zvakaitika kuzambia zviitike kuno, kana zvakatoitika kuzambia zvinoratidza kuti it can also happen in Zimbabwe, and it's happening in Zimbabwe. There's no way that it's not going to happen. Saka ndokuvarairwa, when people are drunk with power, they forget kuti the people will prevail, the citizens will prevail, and the power is in the citizens. But before I close, let's follow each other. Citizens, we know the importance of following each other. Panoitika rallies, panoitika anything, it shows out on your timeline. This person is on this platform, and this is how we're going to build this network. And thank you very much. And also kuchipinge uko vanhu vari kuchipinge kuno ngatifollowenai panapa, because tine initiative yatakatanga kuchipinge. We donated food bowls kuchipinge, mhandara nana mukoma vekanyi ngatibatanei panapa. Tiri kuita next initiative yekuita t-shirts nekuencourage voter registration around Chipinge area. Saka that one is already been done. We've donated food bowls, and the food bowls have already been delivered, and vachatanga kuita tournaments encouraging the youth to register to vote. And MP wedu Honorable Shwachayo is aware of this program going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JT there, a member of the Chipinge group, which bought some food bowls for their community. My understanding is like the Chipinge group is actually servicing 5 constituencies with their contributions. Am I right, JT?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are very right on that one. We are servicing the 5 constituencies at Mawards SRIPO. So the MPs were Koko, they've already we are starting the initiative to organize some tournaments, and that's been a success. So the next project, Tata Urandema t-shirts, and I think we are having a meeting. We had a meeting yesterday. We are looking at a target of raising about 2,000 to 5,000 t-shirts. We want to paint the whole of Chipinge yellow. Kana maenda kanyi ikoko muchisvika, musati masvika muchipinge munochingamudzwa neyellow muchipinda pachipinge. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JT, for the great work that you are doing. All the people, Mandoda Ekanyi, Mandara Zekanyi, follow JT, send him a DM, and he'll be able to assist you further. Thank you for that. We'll go to Taona, Reverend Richie. Then we go to the Duke of Zimbabwe.
Okay, thank you.
Let's try to make it 2 minutes.
All right. February 2022, isn't it? It's the 19th of February 2022, and there is February 1982. Well, Zimbabwe grounds, Highfields. Zimbabwe grounds occupies a very important place in the political and electoral historiography of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe Grounds has acted as a springboard and as the launch pad for electoral and political contestation in Zimbabwe. In 1980, three African political protagonists, they held their star rallies in Zimbabwe Grounds. Bishop Abo Muzorewa held the Huriadzo rally, which was believed to be attended by 90,000, his supporters. Joshua Nkomo held a star rally there as well in February 1980 for his PF ZAPU supporters, and which was rumored to be attended by 100,000 people. Robert Mugabe in February 1980 as well, he held a star rally, a triumphant star rally in Highfield, which was attended by reportedly 120,000 people. Why the reason to take a detour in the past? It was essential to take a detour in the past because William Faulkner said, the past is not dead, it's not even past. It is really important so that we can draw direct connections between February 1980 and February 2022. So the attendance today, the inaugural star rally for the Citizen Coalition for Change in Zimbabwe Grounds, the epicenter of historical and political contestation in Zimbabwe, was a tour de force, was a political statement which was sent to both, its supporters and also its rival, also its competitors. When we saw the optics of people perched in the trees, wanting to be part and parcel of the proceedings at Zimbabwean Grounds, it draws striking similarities with what happened in February 1980. If you look at the archival footages of February 1980, there were people perched in the streets wanting to listen to Robert Mugabe, wanting to listen to Joshua Nkomo and so forth. So it was quite essential. So it was a moment of, history coming full circle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it was an important political statement from the CCC and its leadership and its supporters. That's like what this Greek philosopher said, called Alexandra Butolotto, who said, they thought they were burying us, but little did they know that we're seeds. So what you saw today in the Zimbabwean ground, that we saw the CC and its leadership germinating on the compost, on the manures of the likes of Komich, Monzora, and Kupe. And now it is germinated into a sea of yellow sunflowers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taona, for that. Indeed, it was a historic statement we made by having a rally there. From yourself, let's go to Reverend Richie.
Thank you so much, host. Greetings to you citizens. My acknowledgement also to Advocate Maere. God bless you. Today, I'm so happy. I'm a happy man. Today, we are rewriting the history. What we witnessed today is something else that we cannot forget. And I really thank God that it went well, beating people were expecting the event to fail, but today they were so disappointed. That's why I said I'm so happy today. So again, we still with the still happiness that we have and the still vibe that we still have. I just want to encourage everyone who was here at the rally and who is around Zimbabwe to register to vote. We mustn't sleep at this time. ZANU-PF, they are not sleeping. Today, they showed that they are against the movement. They tried every sort of disruption on our way to the grounds. So we find out we have now have a police that declared war against the citizens. It's so disgusting, and I'm not happy about that. Our police, they declared war against the citizens, which we need to stop it. And the only way we can stop that is not by going to retaliate in the streets, but on the ballot boxes. That's where we need to show them. I was in Mondoro 3 weeks back. Actually, unfortunately, my area where I was born, those people, they don't even know about what other part, any opposition part, all they know about it's the ruling part, that they were born and fed by a ruling part. So when you're trying to educate them about the opposition part, it's like you're telling people about something that they never heard about, or else you want to try to sell them to the oppressors. So I was so like discouraged by that, actually that mood. I was trying all best like to educate people on the congregants about what are we trying to build and where we are going. But I am just happy now that people are starting to realize that no, CC is for the people, is for their best. President Nelson Chamisa is for the people. Ichi chinhu chevanhu ichi chekuti iko zvino chaiko the ZANU-PF they see kuti kurwisana neCC kurwisana nevanhu. That's why Abu Baba Charamba today and Nikki Mangwana, they were so surprised to see those kind of numbers of people pouring out, going to the fields. They were not expecting that. In the first thing in the morning, they just see about 3 people going there. Then they think, ah, no, we beat them. But less they didn't know that majority of people are ready to support their party. And I'm just so happy that we beat them on this game. And we need to beat them again on the 2022. In the 2022, we need to show them who we are, what is the citizens doing. So yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to register to vote and let us participate in our voter on our vote. Is the right thing to do. I think also I'm arranging about some 50 t-shirts that are coming from South Africa that I'm just sending for the Mondoro folks. I even promised them and I'm going to deliver to them. I'm just doing it for them. I'm printing them, 50 of them. I'm buying them from South Africa, the yellow t-shirt, printing them, then I'll send it to them. That's something that I think I can help out with. We need all hands on the deck. We need everyone. I think you diaspora, you're doing a lot. We see you guys, what you're doing, your initiatives. We appreciate that. It's not only CC leadership that is seeing that. We general Zimbabweans, we are seeing it. Let's do something to our part. Let's support our part with everything that we have material. Let's come together, hands on the deck, and support our movement. Thank you so much, the host. Let's use Zimbabwean citizens. Also, one more thing. I see our president, Nelson Chamisa, haven't hit 1 million followers on Twitter. Please, whoever haven't still followed President Nelson Chamisa, do so right now. And also, let's follow each other. Thank you so much. May God bless you all.
Oh, wow. Wonderful news. The president has hit the 1 million mark. Let me just confirm here. For me, it is not yet there, but I hope you'll be there soon. But I hope maybe our account is a bit behind in terms of counting, but he is almost on 1 million followers. Thank you for that, and we would like to thank you, Reverend Richie, for your generosity. The 50 t-shirts that you would like to donate, that's a wonderful, wonderful initiative. I've always said, for those who mistake lack of regalia for lack of support for the CCC, think again. If someone in Mondoro doesn't have a t-shirt, it doesn't mean that they don't know about the CCC. It doesn't know that they don't know who their president is. It only means that they don't have a yellow t-shirt, which you can actually provide, like what Reverend Richie just did. Thank you so much. I can see that our fundraising co-host would like to say a few words. I'll give him a minute before we go to the Duke, then Kugadzira Nyika, then Dr. Dendere, then Mambo Shoshe. Go ahead. 30 seconds to 1 minute, co-host. Okay, it seems as if co-host maybe he muted himself. Let's go to the Duke. Oh, yeah, the Duke of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, thank you very much, host. I think many a times I've come to such platforms and have walked away not having had the chance to say anything. At this moment, I'd also want to sort of appreciate our lady, Fadzai Mahere, Advocate Fadzai Mahere. It would be very good for you just to see a heart from you, just to know you're listening to me as well. But I think today has been a very great day, and it's been triumphant. A lot has been said already about how the day has panned out, but I guess tomorrow morning we start again. We've won the war today, but we still have a battle to win. And as I've said, many things have already been said, Kudara, but it was nice to hear President Wachitaura, some of the core issues that are affecting our people today. I think he sort of coined it the fourth Chimurenga, if I'm not mistaken. I think the fact that you're talking about the plight of the teachers, Vataura Futi war veterans, and Vataura Futi land reform, the issues that some of our forefathers went onto the battlefield for. Saka I think it's really been encouraging. I think all along in the last few months, and I think even from last year as well, we've seen these groups battling to be heard, battling to be seen, and battling because their livelihoods have really been corroded. Saka, to hear the president talking about those things, I think for me going forward, because it kind of feels like you've got different voices from different. You've got the war veterans one day being arrested. You've got the teachers doing their own thing, and I think him bringing all those things together and going forward, I think that'll be really good to hear, and hearing more of that, because I think just bringing those disjointed voices and actually really leading this charge, it's ridiculous. And the fact that our children are not learning anymore, a country that was really big on education, that was way ahead in terms of education, we've lagged so far behind. And the regime that's in place, you can see that they've lost that they've lost the people within it all. And I think the fact that we have changed and moved on as well, some might, when you look at the legacy, Asave, Zita, Harvest House, but I think the legacy of Sawe is the people. And I think when I look at what's happened behind us, is that when Vasarak Masure held on to relics, but they forgot that the main issue is the people, which when you look at even ZANU PF as well, they've forgotten that bit, that it's about the people. And I think from today, what my takeaway from today was hearing the president now leading the charge, and it would be good to hear him lead that charge going forward. Ccc Diaspora, and I'm happy to join the $100 club. I'm also available in the diaspora. Most of my weekends I'm quite free, so if I've got a few donations as well, my phone and things like that. So I'm quite happy to be contacted. I will put my contact details there for me to join that club, and also to help out in whatever needs to be done. I'm quite central where I live, but I think today has been a triumph. We go back to bed tonight, but we know that tomorrow we start again from scratch. I think with the showing that has been presented today, it would be for me to say to our advocate and spokeslady, when you whisper into the ear of the president, know that every day is a battle. We haven't is a battle, and is a war. We haven't won the battle yet. And I guess even after 2023, when we get into office, my wish is that we don't forget those core issues, and we deliver on those things. Something that I think has not been delivered, and it was good to hear that the fourth Chimurenga has started.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the Duke of Zimbabwe. Let's go to Kugadzira Nyika. 2 minutes.
Evening, everyone. Evening, Today, guys, was a marvelous day for Zimbabwe. It was a good day for us as a generation. You could see the energy that was displayed there and the enthusiasm. It was awesome. It was liberating. It was like uh, we we achieved something huge. And I want to thank the spokes there, Madam Spokes there, Sister Mahere, everyone from the Ccc camp, the leadership. You did a wonderful job. You don't know how much it means to us, people who have lost hope in the doings and the happenings in Zimbabwe. You really don't know how much it is to get a breeze of fresh air pumping through, and it was very, very well. And whatever happened there, the messaging from the president was wonderful. Guys, we need to keep up that energy. We need to keep up the momentum. The momentum anaweza
I don't know what happened to our speaker, but thank you so much. From there, let's go to Dr. Dendere. I can see that Kugaziranyika is dropped.
Hi, host. Thank you. First of all, congrats, Fadzi. I think she's left. Congrats to the team, Magona, Munodadisa. Then my question and comment would be that now that the rally has been held, I'm hoping that there will be clear and concise communication on when we can expect the constitution and also the dates for the Congress. Um, I've been asking people to give feedback to me so that I can share it with the team, and I think this is a good platform. And what I'm hearing from people is that they would like to keep seeing open and clear communication from the team. So if people have questions, if something is unclear, those are the things that people want. So my main takeaway was that I think if we can have the dates on the release of the constitution, as well as when the next congress is going to be, that would be very helpful. I also want to encourage people to keep donating money, especially those in the diaspora. You can donate $3, which you would have spent on coffee. Um, you can donate $5. It doesn't have to be a big amount, but the work is big, and every small donation goes a big way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dende, right there. I'm sure that our spokesperson, we're in communication. I'm going to pass the message that the issue of the timeline is very important, and I'm sure that she'll be able to listen to the rest of the space if time permits. So thank you so much, Dr. Dendere there. We'll go to
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Ziko. Thank you, the other co-hosts and everyone here. And I also want to thank our, of course, in absentia, our very able spokesperson, advocate, champion, Mahere. Yesterday, when we were speaking at another space, we said history was going to be made today. And indeed, history was made today. Our President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, gave a historic speech at a historic venue, the Zimbabwe grounds. And it was so powerful. Not only did he give a historic speech, he also gave a historic performance. You saw President Wachikwakuka, to the extent that if you ask other people to do that, stage, it was really powerful, and it's something that we need to carry on. But what happened today, the coming together, the oneness of our citizens highlighted the power that we have as a people, that sometimes we don't even realize that people have power, citizens have power. And when we come together, when citizens come together, nothing is impossible. We managed to defy the people in Zimbabwe defied the police, defied, stupid and unconstitutional orders from the army, from Emerson Mnangagwa, and from ZANU PF. We can defy them. And now what is left is for our police, our army, to also defy these unconstitutional orders that they are given. And as I round up, like everyone has been doing, I want to encourage everyone to take part in this history. Be part of history. Do not just wonder when history has been made. Participate in the making of this history. Democracy is not a spectator sport or a spectator event. You need to be participatory. You need to participate. You need to do something. And if you can't be in Zimbabwe, of course you can't be there, but your wallet can be there. Your bank account can be there. Do something. Donate something. We have so many fundraisers that are going on. We have the citizens raising money there. We have diaspora affairs here that have fantastic programs that they are doing. And we also have in our provinces, various fundraisers that are going on. Find somewhere, find something, where you can just go and donate so that you are part of this history. So that on 26 March, you'll be able to say, I did something for this victory. And next year in 2023, you'll also be able to say, I did something, I participated, I was part of this victory. And it's so easy. Like Dr. Denere said, you can just come up, chip in with a $5, $10, forgo your lunch, forgo your dinner, forgo your six pack, and donate something and do something for the struggle. You saw how much convicted the people in Zimbabwe are, walking all the way, some of them from Kwadzana, from Chitungwiza, from Glenview. You don't have to do all that. All you need to do is to, give something so that we can win the by-elections on 26 March, and we can also go on to win the 2023 elections. Let's do something. Let's donate. Let's help the people back home. I always say the struggle is a partnership between the people in Zimbabwe and the people that are here. Know that. Just make sure that you are doing something as a partner in this struggle. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mambo Shoshe, right there. I can see our speaker has dropped. I'll give the mic to Pinio Moyo.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank the leadership for the burden they care on our behalf, making decisions. At times, they get criticism, but these leaders, they are going through a lot. At times, they get incarcerated. They do a lot. At times, they ask for questions like, what's your plan now? But at times, they will also have a plan they can't tell you, and at times they will be deciding. I want to thank you all for the burden, and I want to also thank our leaders in diaspora for all the fundraising effort and everything they do to coordinate fundraising. I also want to say the drumming for people to go and register to vote should be very big, and we should also look into how we can make those votes count by making those who register to turn out for voting, because we can register a lot of people, but if they don't show up in the booth to vote, we will have done nothing. I also want to encourage people to tell also those vari muzanu macho imamo nokwamonzoro kana kupi kuti kana vachijamuka ikoko ngavanojamukira pabhaloti vati pasi ipapo pamabhanana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pinio Moyo, right there. Thank you for your wise words. Registering to vote is a very, very important exercise. But I think if people can be motivated to come to a Yellow Sunday and a Yellow Rally, like what happened today, I don't think those people will fail to register to vote as well. So to me, we are heading for a resounding victory in 2023. But we need to keep pushing. Let's call them like we did when we were encouraging them to go to the rally today. Um, so we will go to Frank. Your network was a bit shaky. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay. First thing, I just want to say to thank everyone. Nekubatana kwadzakaita tichirwira musangano wetriple C uyu kuti uende mberi. Chinhu chandinoda kupa chete ndinoda kupa anonzi masuggestion ameno mberi vari kumberi vetriple C. First thing chiri very important, vanhu vazhinji vari kumarural reservoir havana Twitter, havana Facebook. Dai zvaibvira MP umwe naumwe paprovince wemusangano wetriple C ave neWhatsApp, ave namakansela ari under province yake WhatsApp group, kuti information achinge achibva kumusoro inosvira kuna MP opfudza kumagroups ake anenge ari mumacancelors, then macancelors one forward messages kuvanhu vavo. Ndo chimwe chinhu very important. Then another thing, sezvo network yaitwa down president achitaura, tinofanirwa tive nepage futi kuYouTube rekuti kana president akapedza kutaura tikaenda papage iroro kuYouTube tinowana everything zvarekodwa napresident, because after rally ndazama kutsvaga a full video yapresident achitaura, ndiri kuishayiwa, ndiri kungoona ma10 minutes, ma2 minutes, ma3 minutes kuYouTube. So ndozvo zvandada kuti nditaure chete. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Frank. I can assure you that the spokesperson, Sister Fadzai, has actually told us that they were recording and the speech is going to be available. So you don't have to worry. The speech will be available, and when it's available, we will be the first to know, and we'll ensure that everyone knows after that. I can see that our brother Kuda is here, the begotten son. He was instrumental in raising the $4,000 or pounds yesterday. My brother Kuda, maybe can you tell us your motivation to start that fundraiser and your experience with the positive support that you got, and how long it took? Others said 30 minutes. Was it really 30 minutes or was it longer? You give us that in addition to your contribution about your own view on today's rally.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me on your speech. Appreciate it. Very grateful for efforts. This is proving that they will continually in for the for election agents. Yes, out of nowhere, I said, guys, can we also not pay our musicians the full fee? We don't want to haggle with them. My community musicians, I know money kids the other side, and we wanted to also support these young people who some of them have put their necks on the line and spoken truth to power. And the response was overwhelming. I don't even know how fast it was. It's incredibly fast. We're now at 95%, and people had number $3, $4, and who call his worship the mayor. We are entering Marienu, perform, and I'm so glad that the performer showed up today. I'm very grateful for Colors and for Ricky Fire. I know there was issues with Colors coming on stage, but that's fine. There's going to be other moments and other times, but the citizens proved beyond a reasonable doubt that despite our differences, we can come together on something so momentous. I mean, the energy at Zim Ground was I can't even explain it. I think I'm still on a very high adrenaline rush right now. I've had about 4 beers now to try and calm down. It was incredible seeing that much energy and Zimbabweans coming together, knowing also that a lot of the things that were happening per ground were funded by my Zimbabweans. Angari Diaspora, and who funded a lot of those events. Now, I would have loved to be streaming and showing our friends and families what was going on the ground, because sometimes that's the emotion that you want to convey. mukaona imwe rally yanga ichiitwa patv vanhu vanga vakasuruwara, they were not happy. It's like vanga vamanikidzwa, mabhazi anga angozara zara. It was terrible. But ukuwa kuchifarwa, people were actually happy. And I'm telling you guys that for the first time, this is going to make shockwaves. The country is going to be yellow very soon. And I'm very, very grateful for people who supported our initiative. I'm very grateful for the leadership for putting trust in citizens like ourselves to also be able to, this is music. I'm so glad that they also saw the importance of making sure musicians were also called on stage. And hopefully next time we can get other artists to come on and we can support the arts and show that Zimbabwe is for everybody and taste it that we want a better future for our children. My artists suffered during COVID. They had no shows, they had no performances, and I'm really glad that we now have just a wide array of artists who then came and performed today for all those people. It's such a blessing to be a part of such a wonderful movement, and I'm grateful that I was a part of it. So thank you very much for giving me this platform.
Thank you, Brother Kuda. There's been a question that has been flying around, which was when you were mentioning the artists there. We know that we have got Wingy D, who sings many songs that are actually very, very progressive. Many people wondered why Wingy was not on the list. Can you answer us on that one?
Okay. The thing is, last minute on Friday, and I think a lot of the rally was also organized quite late. Now that there's a bit more time on people's hands, and maybe there's another rally coming up, we can now approach the management and communicate them artists in a professional way and engage them for these events in an easier way, get their fees in advance, artists so that they can get prepared for these shows. My artists last minute. I mean, we actually engaged most of them yesterday, and then they managed to show up today, which is not very regular. Sometimes they have to rehearse, they have to prepare their bands and so forth. But next time, if we have another opportunity like this, and if the leadership is willing, we'll definitely want to invite other big artists to come and perform and encourage people and also have a bit of fun, because it's more of a festival. These are celebrations. We're not there crying. We're there to celebrate, to show the talents of Zimbabwe. And there's also a lot of upcoming artists that could also be invited. So there was no reason why we couldn't get Winky D. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, I don't even know what Winky's fee is at now team or anything on that nature. So we don't even want to make assumptions. Next time there will be an opportunity to be, hopefully through Mr. Chibai and the organizational teams, to make sure that we can approach these guys in good time, get their fees, sign contracts so they can come. Because these are musicians, they're professionals, and their job is to come entertain and encourage them. All those people in those crowds are fans of these people. So we would like to bring on some bigger artists next time. I hope I can be part of that process. And the citizens have said, if we need to raise the fees again, we'll do it again. But if you guys give us opportunity, we'll bring on other great artists, because we want artists to be part of this movement. There is no big movement that does not have the arts involved. So I think next time, let's shoot for the stars. Why not?
Yes. Thank you, my brother Kuda. I just wanted people to hear from the horse mouth, the people who organized the fundraiser and brought the artists. And definitely, we are also going to engage the leadership in Harare, so that we give you the information in advance of the big events that will be coming. Then we'll be able to negotiate with the artists on time. Thank you so much, my brother Kuda. From yourself, we'll go to the original Mazi, Fisher, then Bruno.
Yeah, thank you very much, host. I'm actually a bit overwhelmed. Right from the time, and I wanna some footage on like Facebook and stuff. Yeah, rally. I was quite overwhelmed, and I don't really understand. I want to keep it as short as possible. I think a lot of my sentiments have already been expressed by a lot of other speakers who came before me. But the thing that I really want to emphasize or re-emphasize is the power of the people. It's the power of the people. And really, I think if there's anything that has been demonstrated, it's the power of the people. And this is momentous. And I think even going forward, and basically, obviously, based on the fact that CCC is a citizens movement, the we should overemphasize the fact that the power lies with the people, so that people and vanoregedza kutya vanoregedza to kudzokera mashure, but they should carry on with the same spirit. The power lies with the people. And I'm really thankful for everyone. The like I said, the atmosphere is great. And I'm one of those people just waiting to see what happens next and what I can do. So I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, host. I'll just speak as an analyst and try and give some advices. I think it was a good showing for the CCC, and the numbers were quite great. But that said, I think it's a moment for Nelson Chamisa and team. I think it's a second opportunity that should be taken seriously. I think the leadership should cut beyond the numbers that they see and keep in focus and look at the core. I think one of the things that has been lacking in Zimbabwean politics is to really be grounded in policies. And Dr. Dendere has mentioned that we are looking forward to the manifesto and to really look at the policies and what they say. I think the policies should appeal to the to the electorate. At the same time, it should appeal to the outside world, because we are now in a globalized world. So my advice is that in as much as there are big numbers, which is quite good, the messaging should speak to these big numbers. Those who went to sports in high school, there's something that we used to call Mwewembazi. The numbers can have Mwewembazi, where people are just there, but without a particular message that resonates and speaks to them. So that should, the numbers should, in as much as they should excite, but our heads and people's heads should be cool, and so that people can focus on the real stuff, which is policies for me. People always ask and say they're neutrals. What are neutrals doing? The current situation should push those who call themselves neutral into voting. I don't think that is sufficient, and it's oversimplifying things. We should be based on policies, and people should be pushed in that direction. I think Nelson Chamisa and team have a very good opportunity to drive our politics into a different space where people are really educated, or people get to appreciate to vote for policies. We've been voting on sensational lines, and sensationalism is always bad. The last thing from me is that the leadership should try by all means to keep this as a citizens movement, and try and push away the pressure for it being a Chamisa thing. Because if things become very tough, by the end of the day, people would go to the default settings of asking Chamisa to say, what are you doing? What's your plan? It should be the citizens' plan. And in Zimbabwe, we have seen we don't have a culture of respecting institutions. And if we let this to go the Chamisa way only, or we push it to become a Chamisa thing, as a nation, we will fail to appreciate institutions and what institutions should carry. I think ZANU-PF is playing with our courts. It's playing with ZEC. It's because we don't have an institutional culture, and that was the MDC in its various forms in the latest years. There was no longer institutionalism, and this is a new start. And let the institution, which is CCC, be above individuals. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fisher. And now we are going to start rounding up. So we'll be giving you a minute each. We'll be finishing in about 15 minutes. So let's go to D, then KJ, then Ango Tony.
Today, what we witnessed is an electrifying citizens festival. We witnessed President Chamisa's first supposed inaugural speech that has been delayed by 3 years. And I say so because all of us, we know he is the man we elected to, he has got our endorsement to lead this country. What I loved most about it is that he did not just speak to his base, his supporters. He spoke to every Zimbabwean and gave every Zimbabwean a voice. He gave a voice to a ZANU-PF police officer, gave a voice to a ZANU-PF soldier, gave a voice to a ZANU-PF arikumusha supporter, and he said, "Ndirikukudzoserai pamakanga muri na vamugabe." Now, gentlemen, that alone is good signal because African Union is listening, SADC is listening, and they are saying, you know what, young man, you are respecting the legacy of the previous president. Now, personally, I've got nothing that I admire about the former president, I think, but the message was on point. He hit the right levels, and it was the right message to the security sector. It was a message for everyone. Now we have a talking script. We have a point of inclusivity that we are going to take out there as we spread that message in the byways, in the highways. But let us remember, as we go out talking, we are the majority. We are the winning side. They are losing, we are winning. We are buoyant, they are sinking. We are motivated, they are depressed. We are young, they are old. Our best days are in the future. You can see our dreams and our aspirations. Chamisa is carrying them. And he's carrying them and saying, if you are a Zimbabwean, a citizen, your qualification is, that's all. In street lingo, will prosper under my administration. We have a once in a lifetime opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to bury the cancer called corruption, the cancer called collapse in a graveyard called ZANU-PF. In 2023, if we do this right, ZANU-PF will never be the party that you know it ever to be, because we are the majority. Right now, we are the majority. In fact, they know it, we know it. Let's start acting like the majority. Now, one last bit, I don't want to take you a lot of your time. All that is required from each one of us, if you are willing and if you will commit to put your shoulder to the wheel, knocking door to door, engaging the candidate for your ward, engaging the candidate for your constituency, your candidate reaching out to the people, reach out to Tim Pachedu, request your dossier for my electoral anomalies. Go door to door in your constituency, in your ward. Let us make sure that we will win this one. We are the majority. Let's act like the majority. Chamisa spoke to every Zimbabwean. He has given a voice to every Zimbabwean. And today was electrifying. When I was in there, I literally had goosebumps. And like what Kuda says, you know what? I've also just tried to, just to try and calm down. So I thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee, and sorry you had to wait for a very long time. I think at one point you dropped and we failed to bring you on. When you came, there was a new crop of speakers there. Sorry for that. Let's go to KJ, then Uncle T.
Good evening, everyone. Mine is just to say, I was very impressed by the crowd that gathered in High Falls this afternoon. I'm one of those that are in the diaspora, and I haven't forgotten about home. I have tried to engage as much as I can. Um, I have made contributions to the fundraisers, almost every of the fundraisers I have tried to contribute. This is the motivation I've had for a new Zimbabwe. We have suffered enough. I mean, me being here doesn't mean that everything is rosy. I do think of going back home, but the conditions, as everyone would admit, are not conducive. So it's just to thank everyone who has been involved in all this. Kuda, I've seen a tweet by you about the PA system. By all means, I am prepared to chip in. The crowd was big, and it's always difficult for everyone to hear the message clearly with the PA system that was in High Falls this afternoon. The screens as well. It will be helpful if there are screens around for everyone to see and to hear the message. So yeah, I am prepared to chip in. Freeman, with Pachedu, splendid job. Keep it up, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KJ, and also for your generosity and willingness to contribute to the struggle. Let's go to Uncle Tony.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I was on the ground. I would like to tell you that people who were there, like half of the people, there are people who are not even on Twitter, my friends. There are people who just heard the message, be it through relatives, be it through MPs, be it through councillors. But there are people who were there who are not Twimbos. So don't be fooled to not go and vote because people are telling you that this was a Twitter thing and whatnot. The numbers there, my family, my friends, havasi vanhu vepatwitter havatozivi what is Twitter, most of them. Vanhu vatanga tinawo, half of them. So this is clear evidence yekuti message is getting kuvanhu. So what I would encourage, pamuri kutumirawo mari madiaspora kuhama dzenyu, pamwe pacho just say show me evidence kuti wakaregister kuvhota bururu, usati wanotora mari pamukuru yandiri kutumira this month. Let's do something in our little capacities, in our little areas that we are able to influence. Kana uri teacher uchi-influencer in that area, uri ku-college, ku-university, this is an opportunity to just say, my college students makaregister kuvhota here. Not necessarily say go and vote for CCC if you are not allowed to do that. But at the end of the day, my message is, mumwe nemumwe kwauri ikoko, in your own capacity, make sure that the message gets out there. Kungave kumusha patiri kutumira mafertilizer, pairi kuenda fertilizer iyoyo, message ngaisvike kune mumwe nemumwe waunokwanisa in your own capacity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle T. From you, we'll go to Ziva. I've seen that my brother Freeman, you had requested a mic. There was a direct reference to yourself and Tim Pachedu if you would want to come and encourage the people to support the work that is being done by Pachedu in relation to the voters' roll. That will be most welcome. My brother Ziva, can you go ahead?
Thank you very much, host. I'm also delighted by the events of today, and I'm very encouraged. And I think, like other speakers have indicated, that this will motivate people who are in doubt and those who are not so sure if this thing is going to work. But I would want to maybe focus on the way forward, which I feel the movement should really put emphasis on the use of technology. Use of technology and data analytics. I would emphasize especially on data analytics. If many of you followed how Obama won the election in America in 2008, it was all based on data analytics. We should emphasize the importance of analyzing data and also having parallel processes for other processes that are being rigged, like the ZEC process. We should have parallel processes where those who are registering to vote and are people who belong to our movement, we should always have a record of their details, where they have registered to vote, and how many they are at each and every ward or police station. That data should be there. And we should have records of all the voters roll from way back, like what Pachedu is doing. That is very important. The importance of data can never be overemphasized, and it will really help rather than just focusing on the numbers at the rally. You need to analyze the data. You need to play around with the figures at each and every polling station. How did it go the last time? What are the numbers now? What is the census saying? So these demographics needs to be emphasized on. So those are the things that we need to emphasize. The issue of internet blockage, I think we guys in the diaspora, we need to support the movement. There are satellite phones now. People can just access internet through the satellite phone for purposes of broadcasting and making sure that the signal is available to anybody. So that is beyond these guys. They cannot block satellite phone connections and stuff like that. So we need to emphasize on technology and the use of data. That will help the movement. Those two things might make a huge difference going into 2023. So emphasis should be used, and those of us who have the know-how in technology and data analytics should contribute to the movement. And also on the ground, they should also start engaging consultants and people with the techniques and skills to be able to assist the movement in that regard. There is really importance, because ZEC is up to no good. I tell you, what is being revealed by Chedu shows that there is so much that those guys are up to. So it can only work if we have counter processes. So that needs to be emphasized on. I'm sure people are willing to contribute to fund that process and to make sure that there are people and there is technology to defend people's, because now it will discourage the youth, it will discourage everybody. But as long as we can show that we are on top of it, like what Pachedu has done, then everybody will be safe. So that's my contribution. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, my brother Siva. I had to mute you. There was an echo. So thank you so much for that. The issue of data, we send you our details so that you can get in touch, and we connect you to the rest of the data analytics team, since you are an expert yourself. And I give this time to my brother Freeman, Pachedu alumni. I remember, my brother Freeman, there was a fundraiser that you actually ran, where you were saying that Pachedu actually needs to increase the computing capacity. I think it was a 5,000 fundraiser or something like that. You can actually talk about that. Is the money now enough? Do we need to do more as the citizens? And also your remarks on today's event, and what you think needs to be done right now. Go ahead, my brother Freeman.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the time. I appreciate. So first of all, let me talk about the rally first before I speak about Pachedu.
What we witnessed today in Highfields is an indication of how, a people that has made a decision that for once they are not going to be suppressed behave. This is what we have seen. It was a testament to the unbroken spirit of resistance that we have seen in our people. And like I tweeted before, it's amazing that when we used to have these red rallies when we were youth ourselves, rallies used to be a dusty place. Pardons by magrapa ground it used to be a dusty place, where people from Borodale, all the eastern side, they would not go there. But something different happened today. I saw faces that I never thought would be at a rally. I saw beautiful queens, princesses, kings. Everyone was there. Like it's a movement that encompasses everybody. It's a movement that is that cuts across the generations that exist in our country. I saw Gogo, I saw Madara, and then I see these beautiful young youths, expressing themselves even in the face of brutalization, as we have seen with the state machinery. So it inspires people. It inspires people. You somebody anenge ari kumagwede uko akarara achifunga kuti, am I alone in this? And then he sees all these people coming out to express themselves. It shows that takawanda in this. We feel the same way. We feel the same pain. We want change together. We want the country to progress. And even as this system tries to to squish us, to suppress us, we still expand. We are like gases. We expand, and one day, I tell you, we are going to explode, and this system will not be able to contain us. So I'm just thankful to everybody who went to the rally. It was in a very short notice, but the response was just marvelous. I also want to extend my condolences to the Monzora group, Anakomich and all. I mean, we totally understand that, it was a burial today. We won't say much, but, my condolences to them. And to Mnangagwa, well, he's dead. Now, let me talk about the work that Tim Pachede has been doing. Like everybody knows, I'm an alumni. I'm no longer with them, as in I'm no longer actively involved in their day-to-day processes. But I do have some insight into the work they do. The same way I have some insight into the work that MDC's election department does, and other initiatives and endeavors that are happening in other areas. So it is important that people now understand that we are not in an election where things are fair. We are not in an election where there is good faith across the board, where the government, where the electoral body is not an interested party or an independent party. We are in an election where there is a lot of gerrymandering, an election where the ruling party and the election board are working in cahoots to manipulate the electoral process. This is a fact. And when you look at what is happening with that voters' roll, which now they are trying to disown, but we got it from them, we signed for the voters' roll, they gave it to us. But what they did not realize was that they gave us a voters' roll, which they had manipulated. They'd already started the process of manipulation and delimitation before census yaitwa, before voter registration yaitwa. They'd already started that process of moving people around in preparation for 2023. So my hunch is that the voters' roll they gave to us was not the one they wanted to give to us. I believe that they were manipulating the system, believing that maybe it was a staging environment or a DevDA environment, but unfortunately, probably they were doing it in production environment, and they gave it to us. And when we looked at what was before us, it's shocking, but it's also blatant to the extent that we begin to wonder: do they even have qualified people? Sometimes you wish. I mean, there's a reason why Muhammad Ali aisazoda kunorwawo kana kuti nana Kilimanjaro. Sometimes you want your opponent to be also at your level, so that munonza mari akawanda. If Pacquiao fights with let's say Mayweather, there's a lot of interest that comes. You want your opponent to be strong. But now when you look at what Zek has done, and when we're looking through it, we begin to wonder whether they are really serious. Do they have competent people, or is it a ruse? Those are some of the questions we begin to ask. But the most important thing is that we looked at the data, we looked at the registrations, we traced them back from 2013, 2018 to 2022. And there are trends that we can see. Because of that availability of data, which never used to be there, we can now track a person, which akabva kupi, uyanga ari kwaGutu muna 2013, and then in by-election muna 20 chakuti akanovhota kwakati. Now this person is at this place. Now we can track people. We can see now, for example, I'll give you an example of Gutu North, where in 2013, there were 23,000 voters, registered voters. In 2018, there were now 14,000 registered voters. What happened to the other about 8,000 voters? We could track them. We could see that about 600 went to Masvingo, about 1,000 went to Epworth, and about 20 went to Beitbridge. Now the question is, the ones who went to Epworth, did they remain in Epworth? Are they Epworth voters in 2022, or were they people that were moved, or numbers or IDs that were moved to Epworth to show up some votes there? And did they move? And you can find out that from Epworth, some of them have been moved to Glenview. Now we begin to question: are these real people? You see, so now with the availability of data, and technology, it has become easier for us to track those things. We should not end there. There are many other data points that we have to look at. Even these, like Ziva was saying, even these campaigns, they have to be data driven. There was a point in 2014 or 2015 when we started a project where everyone who was getting to a rally, we took their number, we took their name, so that we could then follow up with them, sometimes, hold on. So what has been happening is that, you see, ZBC does not talk about CCC. Herald do not talk about CCC. Even as Chamisa is trying to do rallies in, let's say in 2023, when he wants to do rallies, Kwamtoko, ZBC will not allow him. So we have now to build systems that can counter that. Systems, to understand our voters. Where are our voters? If we knew everyone who is a member of CCC by their name, by their demographic data points, by their phone numbers, by WhatsApp numbers, we could then say, if Chamisa is going to Mutoko, instead of us sending people to put posters there, what if we just say, okay, select from this database people who are in this area, and then take their numbers, use the WhatsApp API, send them their message that Chamisa is coming on this rally on this day at this time. Would you be willing to be there? And when you are there, would you be willing to donate Mombe, Pagada, all those things? We begin to talk to the voters at personal level. We begin to interact with them at personal level. And the system is, circumvent the things that have been put in place, the barriers that have been put in place by the system. That is on the campaign side. Now, as the election results, as the election goes on, there is also need to have citizen-driven data collection or result collection. You know, where every person that is going to an election to a polling agent, to a polling station, including polling agents, they will have an app or they will have another system where they wait for the results. The next moment they take a picture, they send them, you know, the result somewhere else where the collection happens, and in real time we can tell you that at this point, result paper, we are seeing this polling station right now, my results are coming, so, or, you know, these are the total results for this and so forth. I'm not going to go deep into this because we don't want to alert you know, this. We know that there's spooks also around here, but these are processes that we are trying to work on. Now they demand our time, they demand our resources. At Iskurara, there are people with different skills that are volunteering, and it's not easy because we also have day jobs, right? We have our 8 to 5 jobs. We have kids, we have wives. We also want to pay the bill, right? But at Iskurara, we need those resources. We need competing resources. Tim Pachedi, for example, has been doing most of this work. You know, we have been paying for ourselves, putting my $100, $200 for computing power amongst ourselves. And sometimes it takes its toll. But now that we see where we are going, and I believe a lot of people are now beginning to see the value that this kind of exercise is bringing. I hope that you know, more people are going to come in and support. We need this computing. We need this computing power. We need also the, you know, other resources. There are more resources. We need to, you know, do some things. South Africa around, they also need, you know, here and there to eat, and we are trying to support them. So we need your support in as much as we also need your you know, your financial support in as much as we need your moral support. I don't mirror Panapa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother Freeman. And great work being done by the team Pacheli. Donald is a new person to Twitter. That's why I didn't remove him when his mic was frequently being unmuted. So Donald, you are back. Can you speak? Then we can drop you. When he came here, it's his first day on Twitter. He had 0 followers, and thank you for all those who followed him after the message that he gave us. He now has 69 followers, and I believe you have 70 followers before he leaves. Donald, do you have anything else to share with us?
Hello, good evening. Sure, I do have something to share on you. I'm quite happy to have at least 65 followers, and I hope to have 75, as you mentioned. Obviously, I don't want to dwell much on what has been happening today, but I think it's the way forward from where we are today, and then possibly eventually we win the elections. That's what my focus is on. Possibly, if you have not perhaps noticed, Father Mahaire is on SABC News, possibly from now. And for those who possibly want to tune into SABC News, I've been following that as well, and possibly hear what she's going to say and what she's going to be asked about the new CCC team for Chamisa and the rest of the nation, or rest of the Zimbabwe at large. Also, my concerns really, obviously, not disregarding what Freeman has been saying, most of the guys have been saying. My focus really is on what's the way forward from here onwards. My thinking logically is we need voters. And what do we need to have? What do we need to do to get those voters? On it. I understand there's been some fundamental issues that have been happening. Keep on, guys, doing what you've been doing. There've been so many strategic things that has been put in place. I've heard quite a lot of contributions and everything. But I think what we need is those young voters. What are we doing and what is the plan? That's where my concern is. Sorry, I nipped out because obviously Tate and almost 12,000 guests per live chatting right now. In my opinion, I understand that sometimes talks rubbish, but at the end of the day, we need voters. We need possibly to engage with the Tate and then see how we can influence for those little, maybe a tiny percentage for those youth that we need them to vote. That's my focus. We need numbers. I've heard Chamisa saying, kuti tikaita almost 60 hectares of shibange nyange pakaita makudu tinongosikuona akarara akaguta mumunda medu tinongoaseka achienda. That's what we want. We need voters. That's all I need to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Donald, for those words. Indeed, if we have got a very large hectarage and there are a few baboons, definitely they won't be able to finish the entire field. Thank you for those words. Jabulani, can you go ahead as our last speaker?
Good evening, Mr. Speaker, the host. Let me just recognize those that organized the event for today and the leadership of CCC. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Kuda. He has inspired a lot of us. Just by coming out and talking about what he's doing in the background, he's also inspiring a lot of people around the country so that they can speak out openly and support this cause. I have a few contributions to make. The first one is with regards to today's rally, which when we saw the pictures later on during the day, seemed to be well organized and the attendance was also very good. Just of concern was that there was media blackout. Like in the afternoon, we were trying to find out what exactly was going on there, but there were very few images coming out from Harare, a sign that perhaps the internet had been tampered around with. So maybe it remains a challenge to all of us because basically this is all about us and what we can do in our own little ways. We cannot just sit and say something is going to happen from somewhere. I will just use the words from Booker T. Washington, who said that it's not what this party or the CCC will do for you, but what you can do for CCC and the country, because basically we need to involve ourselves. So maybe to share some of maybe what could be the solutions or what maybe the strategies of trying to counter such media blackouts, because as you are aware, this election is probably going to be the first one where the social media and the internet is going to play a huge role, particularly in 2023, which is a year from now. So there must be some kind of strategy. We are just trying to think outside the box here. We are not really saying that this is exhaustive. Maybe other solutions could be found. But perhaps whenever these rallies are organized, maybe we could try to set up a satellite internet Wi-Fi hotspot where even people within the crowds can be able to access internet for free, so that they can then share those photos with whatever media they can pick up with the others. If you get those images, they energize you, they bring a lot of energy in people, and they excite a lot of people. We know we've got people that are in the diaspora who are playing a significant role. If they manage to pour in as much as about 1.4 billion last year, that is very significant. It means that we really need them in this cause. So we cannot underestimate what the social media can do. So let us just drop the signal all the way from the sky to the satellite receiver. Then we share that signal across with everyone who is in the rally hotspot. Just bring in a free Wi-Fi hotspot so that all those signals, all those images from the rally can be shared by everybody. That would really be, that would help, because everyone in the afternoon was like waiting and waiting, but there was nothing coming out. So, and the second point is, after these rallies and any other, like campaign, there is need for packaging. I think I made a contribution sometime that the packaging must, we are trying to target everybody in the country, particularly the voters. So what it means that the messages must be short and precise. After today's rally, there must be some, some kind of, trying to glean all the information, making sure that there are, short video snippets that will be shared on the internet. I suppose the leadership of Ccc probably has a team of, especially young, energetic people that are, very enthusiastic about media, who can, package this information so that it reaches out as many people as possible, whether it's text or videos, images, and so on. Because right now, the public broadcaster is not available. So information must be shared, particularly the internet is going to play a huge role, which is why a strategy must be in place to ensure that the social media and the internet itself is very central to this campaign, right? And as such, the media team should be able to reach out to the world. There is also need for a dedicated YouTube channel, which all of us would know. Right now, we all do not know what exactly is the media channel that is being used, especially YouTube, when you are streaming and so on. We know that there are very few people that have access to the internet, but let's not also underestimate the effect for those that can also access the internet and so on. We know there was a media blackout, but if we are using other tools like the satellite internet, let's have dedicated tools, and all these should be communicated and shared quite regularly so that everyone knows what exactly is going on. So, and maybe one of my last would be the creation of custom application. I think my brother Freeman also talked about the young people that are dedicating their time to to come up with new ways of doing things. And I'm challenging a lot of software developers out there. I know there are people that have got talent and skills. We are seeing a lot of headlines in the news that there are Zimbabweans that are scattered across the world with phenomenal talents. We can actually come up with maybe a custom application that is dedicated to be more resilient to data outages, particularly in 2023. So I'm just thinking outside the box that maybe we could come up with some kind of an application that can probably work a little bit offline and online, so that information can still be shared more richly and significantly than we could possibly do even with WhatsApp, because there is going to be a lot of data blackout, media blackout and data blackout as well. So we need to prepare for this. There is no need to start thinking that it's not going to happen, because it's definitely going to happen. There will be a lot of media blackout. So there is need for people to plan in advance, maybe come up with some kind of strategies. I know, these web developers, application developers, Android developers, and so on, they can actually come up with something. Right, then the last one, sorry, Mr. Speaker, but I have to say this last one. March 22 elections, the information is not much. There should be a lot of information concerning the March 22. For example, who are the people that are voting, which constituents, and so on. This information needs to be reached out, because as it is, every other voter, they know that there are going to be elections, but not everyone is going to vote. As you know, it's only those, I don't know whether there are 27 or 20 something constituencies, but that information should be at the fingertips of those that are going to be affected, particularly those in those constituencies where they need to know their MPs, they need to know the delimitations and so on. They also need to know the ZEC regulations, because if you don't know the ZEC regulations, on the very day you might not be able to vote. So I think that information, let's try to share it even publicly, so that for those relatives that stay in those areas, we will also remind them that, look, you are staying in a Seke and you are going to be voting. Can you please ensure that you are registered, you do A, B, C, D, and so on. So those are some of the issues that we want the CCC leadership to tackle, so that those that are voting are aware that those are the people that, because March 20 something, it's not everybody is going to be voting, and we may not be aware of that, some of us. Thank you so much, Mr. Host.
Thank you so much, my brother Jablani. Freeman, any last words before we give the co-host to give us a vote of thanks?
Yeah, I hear the issues that people are raising, but again, we won't be able to fix everything, but we are trying. And the most important thing that people have to understand is that most of the work that has to be done is volunteer based, because in terms of skills and capabilities, we have so many people who are scattered across the world that have different skill sets. And what I'm trying to do is just to be a common contact for those who want to help. So if you believe you have a skill set that might solve a problem, feel free to DM. I'll try to connect you with people of the same the same mindset, the same skill set, and you can start working on massive things. And I can tell you that there are things that are being built that when the time comes, some people will be shocked. So yeah, let's volunteer. If you have a skill set, come through. If you want to donate, there are many platforms that people are using to donate to donate for different things. You saw there is one for Tim Pachedi. You can find that on my handle, or on Tim Pachedu's handle. You will see that there is one for election agents. You will find that on Juma Olete's handle. You can find that on a number of people within the CCC family. They are working on that. So just try to keep connected and find where you can be useful. Yangoa Citizens Movement, don't expect that things are centralized. No. If you have something that you want to offer in terms of skill set, in terms of money, in terms of anything, just try to reach out. We'll connect you with people that can work with you, because it's a people's movement, it's a citizens movement. As bureaucracies. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, my brother Freeman. And from there, we'll go to Brother Washington. Can you give us a vote of thanks with our spokesperson, Sister Fadzai, with Brother Kuda, and with many guests who came to speak? Can you thank all of them? Then I'll be preparing a song so that I will play it as we leave.
Thank you, host. Thank you for the timing of bringing a space for the citizens to come and chill and share their emotions and share their joy, and also sharing what they think they can do. I think I just want to reiterate the words that my brother Freeman mentioned when you were saying, if you've got a skill set that you have and you think that will be useful to what we intend to do to achieve the goals that we want for a new Zimbabwe, don't wait for anybody. We are here. We are looking for people to help. Everyone that you see on these handles is here on a voluntary basis, doing their national service. So if you feel you can offer, please, I plead, don't wait for somebody to start something and say, oh, I wanted to do this, DM us and tell us what it is that you can do, and then we can work with you. Like what Brother Freeman says, there is so much that's happening in the background. That's when it's launched. A lot of people are going to say, oh my God, how come we didn't know about this? There are some things that can be said and some things that people are really working hard on as we speak. And, some people don't even sleep. They are working their normal jobs and they're coming back and they are working, putting work for their country. So those who have anything to donate, please, we have got our hands open, waiting for you to do something for your country. Your country needs you. Without you, we are not able to deliver the country in 2023. But with your support, whether it's resource, whether it's money, there is also a pinned tweet on my on my app. If you go on my app there, you'll be able to see a pinned tweet where you can make a donation. We are going to change it as soon as we possibly can. But if anybody feels they want to make a donation, please just go on my app there and make your donation. Thirdly, I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank. Firstly, I want to thank the leadership, the volunteers that are making these Twitter spaces possible. Some co-hosts, I think there was Jessica earlier there. It's people taking their time out, coming to do what they think would benefit people, giving people information, and sharing our levels of joy. And I really want to appreciate you, host, and the other hosts. I also want to go to our speakers. I may not be able to mention all the speakers by name, but I want to go to our leadership first. We had our national spokesperson, Fadzai Mahere, Advocate Fadzai Mahere, who was here earlier on, who was explaining because of the blackouts that we had. There are certain things that we haven't had. But because she came on the platform, she was able to share that information with us. So this handle, if you haven't followed it, make sure you follow it because there is so much information that will come out through this handle. Secondly, I would also want to thank all the other leaders that were on these handles that came in. Some came in for the first time and they were able to speak without fear on Twitter, sharing their views. We applaud that. We also want to thank Team Pachedu uh, for what they are doing because they are working so hard, bringing all this madness that ZANU-PF is trying to put to try and manipulate the voters' roll. I want to thank that team for working so hard in order to make sure that we put a handle, a grip, and all these things are then put on the open to show that something is happening there. And it's a shame because nobody wants these people anymore, but they want to keep forcing us. We as the citizens, we've got work to go and make sure this doesn't happen. So I think with that, I really want to thank those that I've mentioned by name that just by coming on today and sharing your views with us or just listening, we want to thank you. Let's continue to come together and support one another. Let's continue doing this. That's the only way we can remove this regime. So, together, you and me, we can do it. So, I want to thank you again for all that work that you are doing. And have a very good evening. We are going to be bringing you a lot of spaces where we are going to be inviting professionals to come and talk and share their views and space where we are continue to bring our leaders who are participating in these elections to also come and talk to you so you can hear what they've got for you. So all we ask is When we have the spaces, please come and listen so you can hear them for yourself. And some of the spaces that we hold, we record them. So if you are not able to come, just follow the link and listen to the conversation. Have a very good evening. Thank you. Over to you.